Hello, hello, hello. My name is Josetta Yvonne. I'm your book bae coming on for a quick book chat today. I hope this video finds you well. So earlier in the week, I wrapped up the book Boodfire Baby. It is by Eirinie Carson. It is a new to me author. I believe online it said she was a British author. This is a gothic maternal story. It wasn't scary. I thought it was going to be scary. To me, it was more informative, a little sad. And it's just depicting a new mother's ups and downs and the internal mental health and turmoil that she's going through as she navigates motherhood as a new parent with a lack of help, a lack of community as well. From what it seems from the book, this is a interracial couple, and her husband, Emil, leaves out shortly after she has the baby, and he is gone for business, and he's gone for 3 weeks. And they haven't come up with a name yet for the baby. And although she wants him to stay, she encourages him to go because she doesn't want to seem like that needy woman. And so after that, the story takes off and just exploring all the ups and downs that she is experiencing. And so let me tell you a few things that stuck out to me. I took notes here as I was reading the book. As I said, it's described as a gothic tale of motherhood and the torment of centuries-old haunting. So one thing that stood out to me was relationships with our moms, but also the relationships that our mothers had with their mothers and their mothers. So ancestors, because what I found interesting was that although her mom hadn't shared certain things with her, she still experienced certain things. So it was interesting because I feel like even we all know in life, there are certain things in our families that even if someone tries to protect us from it by not letting us know about it, it can still very much impact us. Another thing that stood out to me while I read this book was the mask we wear every day. Because although it felt like her mind was playing tricks on her, anytime someone asked her how she was doing, whether it was a neighbor or a good girlfriend or her husband that was away on business, she always masked it with, "I'm okay." And I believe she felt like she had to do that because many times I think that's what we have been taught, is to suck it up and keep it moving. And I think that's what she did as a new mother, because she did not want to appear as if she didn't know what she was doing as a first-time mom. This book you'll enjoy also if you like paranormal type movies or books, because there seems to be some paranormal activity going on as she navigates possibly, I guess, maybe postpartum depression. But there's definitely some paranormal activity. I think this was a reminder as well to be gentle in how we handle people, handle them with care. Even though Sophia was a new mother, and you normally think of that as a very happy time, that is also a very stressful time for people. And you never know what they are dealing with. And during that time frame, as a new parent, you're not getting a lot of rest. Everything's about keeping the baby alive and tending to the baby's needs, because, you know, a newborn requires a lot from you, especially if you're breastfeeding and, you know, you're up changing diapers, and depending on if they sleep well, if they don't sleep well, if they're colicky. There's just so many things that goes with that. I think also this is a good book for fathers, childless friends, and just anyone that kind of wants a different insight into motherhood, because everyone, of course, doesn't go through some of these things, but some people do. And the loneliness she felt in this book, and the lack of flexibility, and the realization of the responsibility that she carried, I think she did not expect it, because, not to say she had romanticized parenthood, but I think it's easy to look at people online, especially like influencers or people posting their families all smiling in these cute, you know, matching outfits, but not know what all it takes to get there. Not knowing that the baby just had a breakdown or a blowout in his pamper, or you had to drag this one over here. And so I think she underestimated what parenthood was going to be, especially with a traveling parent, and everything falls on you. I think she was overwhelmed, but I think something that really stood out was how much she cared for the baby. Although she was not taking care of herself, she always took care of the baby and its needs, even if it meant neglecting herself. So overall, it was a good book. It wasn't fast paced. It was very descriptive. So if you're in the mood for something that, to me, it was more along sad, because I felt bad for everything she was experiencing, but a paranormal book, then this may be the book for you. It was not super long. It was only 291 pages, and that includes the acknowledgments. The actual book itself ends at page 284. This here is the author, Eirinie. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I did a quick review before, but to me, I just didn't do it justice. So I wanted to come back and give some more details. There was a piece in here that I really liked, this quote or what she added here. And she mentioned how anger can age people. And I don't think I've ever heard that before, but I do believe it is true. I do believe certain things age you. And yeah, that resonated, because I do believe it, you know, it ages you. And actually, it's so funny now I think about that. I was actually at a store today, a liquor store, picking up something for my dad for his birthday, and I got carded. Now, to me, I look my age, but the lady said to me, she said, "Wow, I didn't think you were that age." And I was like, yeah. And she was like, "You look good. You look younger, much younger than that." And I told her, "Thank you." And I said, "I always try to make sure I take care of myself." And her comment back to me was, "Yeah, because if you don't, who else will?" And so I think that's one of the greatest takeaways during this Mother's Day May, and even reading this book, is make sure you don't neglect yourself. Even when you are in the trenches, caring for your parents, for your baby, don't forget to care for yourself, both physically and mentally, because it can quickly go into a spiral. And that's what it seems like Sophia was experiencing. And it felt like Emil, which was her husband, was not recognizing it. Yeah. So yeah, this would be a great read for fathers, people that aren't parents, friends of people that are new parents, because if you're single and you have the kind of freedom that your new friend doesn't have, that she has a baby and she's the first one to have in your group, then this may help you show up for them in a different kind of way. And I thought that was interesting too. How you have a baby shower, everybody shows up and they're excited and they give you gifts and they're telling you what they're gonna do. And then when the baby gets here, she was wondering, where are those people? Where are the people that said they were gonna be here? And she was like, they were here to celebrate and give gifts, but now it's time to do the work. No one seems to be available. So yeah, that was a good read, and I enjoyed the author. After that, though, I needed to pick me up. I needed something that was going to be a happy ending and soft and made me feel all good. So I picked up Brittainy Cherry, If You Stayed. I am almost done with this book. I just started reading it the other day. I'm already on page like 300 and something, and it's only 384 pages, but it is so good. Let me tell you the synopsis here on the back. Actually, I can probably tell you a little snippet without reading the back, but basically it is about Kiara and Gabriel. They were friends from childhood on up. He lost his memory and forgot all about her. And in order to protect him and to honor his mother's wishes, she stayed out of his life. And she married this person, Henry, who does not value her, who is quite mean to her and tries to undermine her and shade her in every way possible. But when she married him, he has a daughter, Ava, and she loves Ava so much. Kiara, like, even though it's not her biological child, Ava is like her heartbeat. But Ava is starting to notice a pattern, and she's starting to realize that, wow, my dad is a complete dickhead with my mom, and he mistreats her. And so the story is unfolding where Kiara has now reconnected with Gabriel, the man she thought she would never ever see again in life. And so I haven't completed the book. I still have some pages to go, about 100 pages. But so far, I am enjoying it, and it's a beautiful read. And it's so funny, it even mentions motherhood in here. When he was asking her about something, she says, oh, here it is. Let me go back. Put a sticky note here. She says, being a mother meant you pushed your own problems so far away to take care of others. Being a mother meant you lost yourself to save your babies. How dare Gabriel even ask me that type of question? Of course I was all right. It was the only thing us mothers were ever allowed to be, at least on the outside. On the outside, we pretend that everything was amazing and wonderful, even though the world within us was crumbling into a million pieces. And this book isn't even about motherhood. When I saw that, I had to tab it because this is, of course, Mother's Day is on this Sunday. And it seemed so timely. This is a very heartfelt book. Brittainy writes so beautifully. I'm loving every moment of this book. I'm laughing out loud. I'm tearing up. It is a winner. It's going to be a 10 out of 10. I'm not going to lie to you. So if you're looking for a great love story, something soft, a place to land, this is it. It is so beautiful, and I'm enjoying it on this Friday evening. I like also that she says here, no buts. We can't keep looking to the past if we want to make it to the future. Yeah. She has a lot of great quotes in here. At the beginning here, when we first start off, she says, grief is just love with no place to go. I've heard someone else say that too. I can't remember where I heard that, but I've definitely heard it. She also has a number here. And I guess it's a trigger warning for anyone that has experienced domestic abuse, and she gives a phone number, verbal, physical, adultery, attempted SA, loss of a child, and sizeism. Those are certain things that are mentioned in the book. She has this beautiful picture of a couple. I'm going to assume it is Miss Kiara and Gabriel. Yeah, it's a beautiful love story. I'm enjoying every bit of it. And can't wait to finish it. So anyway, those are the 2 books I am reading and wrapped up. I think on my next book, I'm going to dive into The Chiffon Trenches by Andre Leon Talley. We've seen all of the Devil Wears Prada 2 that has been popping up. It is my understanding that it is loosely based on Anna Wintour, and he worked very closely with her for many, many, many years. And so I'm excited to dive into his story. I've had his book here for a while. I loved watching him in the fashion industry on Tyra Banks' show back in the day, when he was on there on, was it called Fashion Model? I can't remember Tyra's show, but it was something fashion. But, Top Model. Yeah, I really enjoyed him. So I'm excited to read his book and see what all he says. He has a beautiful picture in the back of him. That's so beautiful to me. I love that. And it even shows a picture of him as a young man. He was always so fashionable. You gotta love that. Anyway, I hope you guys have the most amazing weekend. Take care. I wish you nothing but inner peace, positivity, and empowerment. And hopefully one of these 3 books stands out to you and you pick it up to read. So take care. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.